Hey guys, no, this is not a physical trigger. What's up? Happy Friday. What's going on? Changing your state with physical triggers. Probably the most powerful live I will ever do. Come on in. Friday, beautiful day here up here in Canada, Ottawa, Canada. What's going on? That's a trigger. Changing your state with physical triggers. Come on in. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump out. It'll be a quick one today. You guys all set for the weekend? What's up? What's up? What's up? Enough jibber jabber. Enough jabber. Let's do it. Changing your state, your mental state instantly with physical triggers. Ooh, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Take one more sip of my water and then we'll get started. Done. We're started. Welcome, guys. Here we go. In and out today. Physical triggers. You guys know what those are? You guys know what those are. That's when you can instantly change your mental state by doing a physical thing. And they're custom to you. So today I'm going to share three of mine. I'll share with you three of mine that I use. So, what do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. I mean, you can use a physical trigger to completely change the way you feel instantly. So, it takes training. You have to do it over time, and there's a very specific way of doing it. So, here we go. I'll give you some examples. Like Jordan Belfort. You guys know Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He's huge on this. He uses essential oils, so scents, because you're smelling. Your scent, what would you call it? It's not sensory. When you smell, that's the most powerful thing to bring you back to a situation or an event or a feeling or a time when you felt a certain way is through scent. So that's why when you smell something, like your grandma's apple pie, it's got a specific smell, it will bring you back to that moment. It'll transport you. So it's not sensory. It's not auditory, obviously. It's a smell. That's the most powerful one. Jordan Belfort uses it when he does sales. He has different types of scents for different moods he wants to get into. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be carrying essential oils with me everywhere I go. I use physical triggers. So my buddy Tone, he uses physical triggers. And when I say Tone, I'm not talking about Tone Loc before he goes on stage to perform Funky Cold Medina. That just gave away my age once again. Tony Robbins uses physical triggers to get him into state before he goes on stage. It's pretty cool. It's actually a series of them. It's a couple of snaps, puts his head up, points up, does a Michael Jackson spin. I don't know it exactly by heart. It's his. So I'm going to talk about that. This is extremely individual. So here's how it works. It's a movement. I'm going to do my three. I have more than three. I'm going to share three with you right now today. And I was going to say unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, depends. We'll see. They put me into that state instantly. I've been doing these forever. My close friends of mine will say, Mark, when I'm feeling down, they know this. Like my ex-friends. They know this. So when I'm feeling down a bit, they say, Mark, do your thing. And then I do my thing, which is a gesture I'll share with you. I instantly feel better, even if there's no reason to feel better. Because I rewire my body. I rewire my emotions based on the gesture I do. You guys familiar with this? Changing state with triggers, physical triggers? Okay, so here's how it works. I'm going to share with you three of mine. Three of my most powerful ones. I seldomly use them because you need to use them only when you want to trigger that emotion. So it's not an all the time thing. Example, I've got one for love. If I want the feeling of love instantly, I'll usually trigger that one if I'm pissed off at someone. If I'm in front of someone and I'm not a huge fan, I'll use that trigger. I'll perform it. I'm going to show you what mine is. And then instantly my whole body goes into the feeling of love. It's friggin' crazy. You learn to drive yourself. You learn to take the wheel of yourself instead of letting yourself drive you. The second one I'm going to share with you is my health one, where I feel like a perfectly functioning health machine. So for the times I'm feeling lethargic, lazy, I do this one, and then instantly I'm like, I feel like a machine. And the third one is rich, money. I feel wealthy. So if I'm having a bad financial day or things are not looking too good on the financial front for that day, I do this other trigger. I trigger that emotion. Really, that's what it is. And once again, that's the one I use the most actually. I try not to use it too much, to overuse it, because it's not as effective. So here's how you implement them before I share them with you, mine, because I'm going to feel it. Been doing this for probably decades. I've been working at reinforcing them for probably decades. Since Darlington, so since Tony Robbins. Since I used to watch Tony forever. Basically since I used to watch Tony Robbins on late night infomercials and scraped up the money to get Personal Power 2 and all that jazz. So I've been kind of implementing them since then, but now I just use them when I have to, and here's how they work. Let's start with the feeling of money, okay? For me to feel financially wealthy without having to be financially wealthy, for me to have that feeling, you have to install that trigger. So the trigger for me is this. I take my hands and I go, listen to that sound. See, it's working. It's working as we speak. I feel like, now let me explain how I've gotten to be able to do this. You need to be in a situation where you are making a lot of money, or when you get a big paycheck, or you guys have all had those moments where you have a bonus, or you have a lot of money on you, or having a lot of, well, for me, the feeling, everyone's had it before. When you feel okay, you're like, yes, I'm having a great moment right now because I have a lot of money right now. You have a certain feeling. You do. And it's inside of you, and it's a great feeling. It's a fantastic feeling. For me, well, here's the trick. In that moment, you must come up with a trigger yourself. Mine is this. See why I'm smiling? It works. It's crazy. It's so crazy. The longer you do it, the more it wires your body to respond to that, your emotions to respond to that. I installed this one when every time I would go to an ATM machine. You know that sound when you do a withdrawal? It goes, the bill's coming out. It's like that. I think you know what I mean. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but whenever that sound happens, I feel great. I'm like, it's a nice sound. It makes every cell in my body feel like, oh yeah, this is a beautiful feeling. So that's how I installed it. Every time I would go to the ATM, and only when I would go to the ATM, I would do that as the money's coming out. So over time, and I would only do it then unless I had to use it for myself to put me in that state. Does that make sense? So for me, it's this, and I have to do the gesture with both hands, and I have to hear it. And I get the feeling. It's like I was at the ATM. It's like your body doesn't know the difference. Your mind doesn't know the difference after a while. So you don't always have to be at the ATM, but you can make yourself feel like you are by triggering yourself, by triggering that emotion. There we go. May sound weird. You can do your research if you want. I'm just telling you it absolutely works. And you don't want to use it, overuse it unless you need it. And you want to pick a gesture that you would not do in everyday life. Like I don't walk around and do this. See, it's friggin' awesome. I feel it. So, does that make sense how that works? You have to wait or create the moment when you're in that emotion to install it into you. Okay? So, one that you can't really install into you unless you're in the moment. The money one was easy for me. That was my first one because every time I went to the ATM and that sound happened, that's the only time I would do that. Then when I would do that, when I wasn't at the ATM machine, I would start to feel that same feeling. Then over time, I would only do it at the ATM machine. Then over time, I could recreate that exact emotion. Now it's incredible. It's amazing. It works every time. I cannot make it not work. Okay? So yeah, you got to start small and only do that physical movement when the moment is actually happening. Make sense? What is that, piece of food? You know it's live when, right? So I'm going to go to the second one. I'm going to go through a little bit of an emotional roller coaster now. Second one is health. If I want to feel like a machine. This one, because I knew how to install these triggers, but for health and feeling like a powerhouse and strong and healthy, I couldn't really create that. I had to, like the ATM machine, I could go to the ATM and implement it that way, install it that way every time I would go. But when it came to feeling like a beast, I had to have those moments in a workout where I was like, you know when you guys work out and you have those workouts that are literally off the charts. They're not every workout, believe me. Some workouts you're powering through them and you can't get turned on into the workout. Turned on in the workout. I get turned on when I get a good pump and all that. So when I'm in those moments and I'm feeling exceptionally strong, I do this. I should stand. It's like this. It's 3 times and I breathe out. It's easier standing. Actually, I have to be standing to do it. But I still feel it. I feel like a beast right now. Just by doing that. And I'm sitting down. That's because I've installed it when I was in that moment and only when I was in that moment. Sometimes if I'm having I'm trying to have a crazy workout, but it's just not there. I'm not in a feeling. I don't use the move. I don't install it. Because there's a difference between installing it and using it when you need it. So right now it's working. Like I feel like, let's go. I'm ready. Just by doing okay? It's crazy. But again, it takes time and you have to do a movement. I don't do that when I walk around. I don't breathe and put my hands like a robotic runner when I'm doing that. And I don't do it 3 times. It's that specific. So that's the one I use for health. And let me be clear here. These are not documented. These are not, do this one for money. And do this one for health. Wow. It's amazing. You can I feel like take on the world. So once you get them working for you and you strengthen them with time and only use them when they're absolutely necessary, you should use them less for your own good, just to feel good. Use them when you really need them. That's what they're for. But you should install them as much as you can. And the third one for me is the feeling of love. That one is friggin' powerful. For me, it's this hand like this, 3 taps on the middle of the chest. I'm going to do it there, but I don't like to use this one too often. And that one is 1, 2, 3. Got my mic. Unreal. Unreal. It's crazy. It's crazy. Love, I use that one when I'm pissed off at someone or pissed off at something or in an anti kind of like angry mood. And especially if I'm in front of them. That works every time. I don't want to force myself to fall in love with people too often. But that comes from the way I install that one. That one's probably the most powerful one. I feel like all lovey-dovey. How you guys doing today? I do. The emotion's there. That one's powerful because that's from when I am in love. I fall in love. I'm like every other person. I may not act upon it, but I do fall in love. I keep it to myself, but I get that feeling every now and again. If I'm with a girl or, that kind of thing. You can fall in love pretty, you guys know, everybody knows this. You can fall in love with someone and they're not aware of it and you keep it to yourself. The married people, love at first sight is real, or love at first meeting is real. It's totally real. You don't need to know each other for years to fall in love. I hung out with girls in person for a week and I'm in love. So it's like when you know the feeling. You know the feeling. Everyone knows that feeling. So whenever I was in that deep feeling of love, it's crazy. So guys and gals, using triggers, I just went through all of them today. I just went through all of them right now. I'm like, whew, I'm on top of the world. I got like health flowing through my body as I'm talking to you. Money, I triggered them all at once. I don't want to do that too often because I'm flying high right now. I don't do them too often. Actually, this will be good to look back on. Snap out of it, Mark. I can't get rid of my smile. It's fantastic. When you can drive yourself through using triggers, change your state. Motion creates emotion. I get that, but this is a whole other level. So, the important thing is when you are in that moment, make up a move. It's a move. I'm going to do them all 3 at once at the end of this live, like one after the other. See how that feels. I don't think I've done that too often at all. But I'll do it. I'll do it today. I'm excited. It doesn't take much, does it? This stuff, you're rewiring your whole system to drive your system, to change your emotions on contact. It's spectacular. So, find a move, make up a move that you want to use when you are in that real moment in real life. It's got to be in that real moment in real life. When you have that feeling going through your cells, do the move and do it a lot. As long as the feeling lasts. When the feeling starts dissipating, stop. That's how you install it. Okay, guys? So I'm going to leave you with this. That's too much. That's too much. Whew, shake it off, Mark. You guys have an awesome Friday. And I'll see you guys on social media. Bye-bye.